Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing today? This is the Dark Roast with Kai Dorsey, and I am your host, Kai Dorsey. First and foremost, I want to thank one of our most amazing sponsors, Nick Jackick, for helping us with today's topic. Jared Garbell for being a donator on the Kickstarter, Barrett Howe for being a donator on the Kickstarter, and Nicholas as well, like I said before. Now, today's topic will be on, well, the lack of faith and lack of work and how disturbing it is for some of us who are seeing people who are constantly complaining, constantly moaning, griping because they don't have, they want, but they cannot achieve, how stuck they are when the truth is it's their own fault. None of us are willing to work any further than a short-term moment of time. We believe if things take over too long, if it's not now, if we don't become famous now, if we don't get instant gratification now, then it's not worth it. But to achieve anything, you must have momentum. And to acquire momentum, it takes two things. Intensity. You have to be intense. An obsessive of intensity. You have to have time as well. Now, time isn't a second. Time isn't an hour. Time isn't a day. We're sitting here doing things for 2 weeks and thinking, oh man, it didn't work. I got to go back to the drawing board. No. If there's a true flaw in your design, then yes, go back to the drawing board. Edit the things you need to edit, change, make the improvements. But you must have intensity and you must have time. Without intensity, all you have is time and you're just sitting and you're going. And you're just going. But if you're just intense, you're doing a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of intense, crazy stuff, but it has no true focal point. You got to put those things together, and that's when you get your momentum. That's when you get your rise, and you got to keep it going. Because life's going to tell you, hey, you sure you're ready for this? Then it's going to test you. And the greater the goal, the greater the plan, the further life is going to take you and test you. Now, there's a recent Facebook post I made, and it was about a female who is basically being a victim of sexual abuse has made her revert to having an infant-like mind. She's still able to do things on an adult level, but she goes home, or even if she goes to work, who knows? Because of the traumatic experience, she lives life as an infant, which causes her 23-year-old boyfriend to coddle her, to enable her, but in the misguided delusion that they're helping her because it's the only thing that's good for her. Well, me being a victim of something like that and understanding what coping is, me having friends who are victim of PTSD and understanding what traumatic things are, people who aren't just going, well, we don't want to get in their business. We don't want to offend them. We don't want to make them think that, well, we know more than them. It's not about knowing more than the other person or feeling those type of ways. I think those are negative stigmas attached to keep people separated from ever wanting to truly help someone. But then we wonder, well, why doesn't anybody help me? Why is no one coming to my aid when I need it? Well, it's because we were taught to turn a blind eye and keep walking if it doesn't concern us. We're now the generation of pull out the camera and watch instead of act. We'll watch a girl get beaten on camera and scream, oh, that's wrong, call the cops, that's dirty. We'll see someone get shot and not act on it because we're afraid. Well, let me ask you guys this. Is it right to enable somebody's traumatic experiences without them ever reaching some true type of closure or coping method? or to let them fall into the insanity. Now, understanding that sometimes when someone does fall into the insanity, you probably should leave them there. Because taking them out of that, in which they couldn't even handle reality, to the fact that they had to create the complete mirage that is now their mindset, it'd be a price worse than death they'd have to pay, breaking out of it. And even with saying that and understanding that there are both sides to the point, to understanding that, sometimes traumatic things are going to happen and we're going to have to try really hard to cope with them. We're going to have that momentum, that intensity over time. And then we know that sometimes when it's too late, it's too late. All you can do is help that person continue in their mind state. But when did we, or those who don't have that type of PTSD, when did you guys decide that you were going to stop working for your efforts? You were going to stop working to help people feel better. You were going to stop working to make sure that those to your left and right, your neighbors, were truly getting loved. We're not here just to take care of ourselves and be selfish with this world. We're a community. One who is placed in a complete submersion of division at this moment in time, but we are a community. Communities help each other. Communities bring each other up. Make sure you don't go without food because you guys are suffering. And they don't just look and go, oh, damn, they're going through a hard time. And wait for the next person to maybe say, oh, they're going through a hard time. Well, I can't do anything about it. I'm going through a hard time too. Well, yeah, we understand. We understand as people who are going through strife that you have your own life and your own issues. And we're not begging you, or when sometimes we don't even ask anymore because we know how much it would take from you or take time for you, because we understand in this generation, in this time, people aren't willing to sacrifice anything for others for the most part. Most times people are sacrificing their time and their efforts because they want some type of glory associated to it. The outliers who do it for their true heart's content to help people, they become pawns in somebody else's scheme eventually. Whether it's working towards a goal, working to better ourselves, we have to continue to push. We have to continue to want to see ourselves rise to the occasion time and time again, knowing that no matter how much we fall, no matter how much we bend and break, that we are never truly broken. We have to fall out of love with the old us. Fall in love with the change. Fall in love with the evolution. Fall in love with the progress of success. You can't afford fucking Gucci or Prada, don't buy it. So that someone thinks that you live a lifestyle you don't. You can't afford a 2016 vehicle because your economics aren't in the right place and you don't have the funding to it. Go for it if you want. But what do you need? And yeah, we justify all this spending money and doing all this stuff and this lifestyle that we try to portray, because we're trying to follow somebody else's rabbit down the hole. All the while, they're eating a different type of rabbit than we are. We need the fat rabbit with the meat, the flesh on it. You know what I mean? They're eating the skinny rabbit because, their rabbits are always constantly coming. Whether that's a horrible analogy or not, the fact remains, we're chasing dreams that aren't ours. And getting mad when they don't come as easy as they did for the person they came to. But you have to realize something too. All those celebrities you idolize, all those musicians, they worked hard. Endlessly. Most times. Even if they have garbage material and garbage content. They worked hard to get noticed, to make you like them, to make you love them, to get you obsessed with what they had the obsession in. And it kills me to see that there are people in the peer group who would rather indulge themselves in a constant lifestyle of partying, not even and events and raves, your hard summers, your EDCs, all this, when they don't even have the funds to truly take care of themselves. But yeah, it's your money, go for it. I don't care where you put your money in the economy, but I want you to realize where the lack of funding will come in something you need in the economy, or the lack of foundation that is placed in the right places for the economy to truly succeed. But no, you'd rather spend 400, 600, 800 on a ticket to dance your ass off to get high, depending if you're doing that. But most people are, and you can't bullshit a bullshitter, so don't do it. You'd rather work hard for those short-term goals, those things that are really not going to matter. All along, we live in a time frame where we know how hard it is to get a job, to keep a job, but you want to waste your money and place it somewhere else. What are you working hard for? Are you working hard? Are you asking for help? Are you keeping your mind in a healthy place? Is your soul in a healthy place? People are losing the trifecta, the mind, body, and the soul. You'll go to the gym for hours a day, but you'll watch TV and won't meditate, won't find clarity in mind, won't stop all the movement in your mind. Meditation is the best thing you can do to help yourself level up. It causes you to look at yourself internally. Also, it helps you drop the stresses in your mind. We're going on in an endless cycle of I want. But we don't want to work for it. Women rather be trophy wives than actually be an independent woman who is taking care of all the business she needs to. Men want to be, I don't know what you want to be nowadays. You got me confused. I think you guys are a little confused yourself. We don't want to work for anything. We want it given to us. That's why the majority of the black community or the Hispanic community or anybody who's considered a minority by this fucked system will vote for Hillary Clinton. It'll make sure you don't have to work. All along, you're being held like a dog at the side of your master. We need to start believing in ourselves, loving ourselves, having self-worth, understanding that we have to be intensely motivated and obsessed with our goal for a high amount of time. We have to believe that we can actually make a difference. But we have to work for it. We have to work for it. Now I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the material like I enjoyed bringing it to you. Thank you everybody who's sponsoring us. Don't forget to check out the Kickstarter. Just look up the Dark Roast podcast with Kai Dorsey. And also don't forget to check out the Dark Roast website at thedarkroast.weebly.com. My name is Kai Dorsey, and you've been listening to The Dark Roast. It's time to wake the fuck up.